And welcome everybody indeed to round three of the ANZCAR Thunder Series live here on Locked On Lads TV. I am Peter Wilkinson and I am joined tonight by a brand new person in the chair because he promised last week he'd be racing. Ed Foster is out there. He's number 4 in practice so far, but I'm joined tonight by the one and only Tim Harris. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good mate. Thanks for having us. And what a location to be at with these cars. I think we're going to have a pretty exciting night watching these things. The boys driving them, I think they're going to have a lot more of an exciting time than we are, though, because there's a bit going on out there, isn't there?
There is a little bit going on. That is right, we are live from Detroit, the island that is Belle Isle. Hopefully, the graphics stays okay because Detroit is terrible for frames. We'll see how we go. Hopefully, the boat doesn't go by in the background. But as I said, this is round 3. We're brought to you by AJD Insurance Australia. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. The big news of tonight is Riley Curtis is back for the first time in a while. It's going to be really good to see. But we've also got the likes of just about every DPR driver coming out to race. No, I'm looking through. It's a 27 strong field, which is obviously down a little bit, but the Xfinity cars at Belle Isle is a very interesting combination. Belle Isle's the closest thing you're going to get to something like Surface Paradise, I feel, in iRacing for a long time, but it's here. These guys have got to turn not only left, but right and left at the same time. So not only right, sorry, but they're actually going to turn left tonight. And there's weird things like blue flags and tyre wear and all kinds of stuff, Tim. I know you've done some laps around here. What was the experience you had doing a few laps around Belle Isle in an Xfinity car?
Well, in the Xfinity car, I think it's really just keeping it in the straight line is the key, and braking and accelerating in the straight line is also the key. There's a couple of guys here I think can maybe manage a bit more throttle than some others perhaps. But I mean, hey, it's 26 laps, right? So anything can happen, and you find under acceleration these things are fairly well controllable to a point. But once you go past that point, it's all gone. So we could see some real big action here. And who knows what's going to happen the opening couple of laps. Are the boys going to settle down? Are they going to be going for it from the start? We've got 1 minute left of practice before we get into qualifying, and it's going to sort of tell us who's going to have to hustle, who's going to have to shove to get the way through to the front of the field.
Yeah, looking at it just right now, we've got Andrew Dyson obviously on top. When we go to a road course, he is the top of the table. That is a fact. Ryan Jones up there in second place is surprising me. It's very, very good effort on a road track from him. Hamish Gallagher, the guy who does need to get some wins under his belt this season, just to sort of get that moving along. He's in third. Edward Foster, as I mentioned before, in fourth. Luke Trahere in fifth. Andy Barber in sixth. It's a pretty good effort. Neil Pearson down there in seventh, Wayne Sheedy in eighth, Riley Curtis, as I mentioned before, in ninth, Josh Migglemore in 10th. That's Gurley outside the top 10 right now. But this is a track, we were talking to Matty Hunter before. The length of the race. It's the 28 lap race. You get about 28 and a half laps on tank. So we will see who rolls the dice and goes for a zero stopper. The problem will be obviously tyres. Tyre wear is key here. He was talking about 5 or 6 laps before it felt horrible. So we'll see who decides they need to use tyres quicker than others. And we'll see who burns them up quicker and has to stop more often. But we were predicting probably a one-stop race here around that 14 lap mark. Get some new tyres on, maybe splash a little fuel just in case and get going again as we start to get ready for qualifying. Thank you, Trev, for dropping by, and Abigail Foster as well, who's saying good luck to Riley. Trev's saying, watch some hot laps here in the 31. Looks amazing. It is a great track. Look at that beautiful view we've got right now of the track. And Buzzer as well. Thank you for joining us. Locked On Lads is the place to get it all. So Locked On Lads on Facebook to follow all our content if you are keen. But we are 10 minutes of qualifying ready to go. We don't have anyone leaving pit lane just yet. But look, there's bumps on this track. There's many sweeping corners. It's the only place you're going to get about 14 lefts in a row around the back end, around the fountain there. It is actually, Tim, 3 lefts and a right somehow. Be
Yeah,
interested to
so we've
see.
we've got the cars heading out there now. So we've got pretty much everyone I think on track. And are they going to do a bit of a warmer lap, try and get some heat in the tyres, maybe try and save a bit of rear so they can hopefully bank a good one on their first lap and continue momentum on for their second lap. It's going to be an interesting game. A bit of it's going to be luck, a bit of it's going to be exuberance and experience. And yeah, we're going to see who's going to come unstuck and who's going to really take advantage of the situation and get themselves up and for a good grid start.
Yeah, so interesting numbers here. I'm just seeing the sector twos pop up. So this is not part of their flying lap at the moment. This is their warm up lap. Hamish Gallagher's not leaving anything for chance. He's done a 19.9 on his warm up lap in sector two, compared to the high 20s and the low 21s from everyone else out there on the track. Be interested to see if Andrew Dyson actually does a qualifying lap or puts one in. He started from the back last time we had a road race and Locked On covered it. But Hamish is on a flyer at the moment, so we will stick with him. He's one of the first ones. Currently, they roughly do what we were talking about, 134, 136 second lap is what they're currently aiming for. But let's go on board and let's have a little bit of look in Hamish as he comes down around here to... This is nice little right-hander. This is a very tricky left-hander, especially on cold tyres here. The car wants to go out to that wall. And then this is an extremely interesting and important corner. As he comes onto the straight there, you need to basically be pointing at the cement wall to get your car in the right direction to get the most out of this very long, yet not straight. And then just about the bridge here. He's broke a lot early. Is that part of these Xfinity cars?
Nicely to the left, so he's done a good job there to get it over to the left under the brakes, which these things don't like to do. So turning and braking is just not going to be a thing. But he's done a really good job there. Obviously, fresh tyres, so he's taken full advantage there.
Okay, now I've got this really weird bug tonight where the replay screen's coming up. I don't know what's going on there when people seem to vanish into oblivion. Apologies to everyone on this one. But Hamish is still there. He's still on TV1. Here he is, he's back. There is some weirdness going on with my internet, obviously. It's not your internet or not race sessions. But quickly, just talking about what we were trying to see from the actual cockpit there before is how narrow this track is. There is only a few overtaking areas. So that's going to be key as well tonight, is where to overtake.
I think a lot of the overtaken areas, as we have a mistake there from Gallagher, I think a lot of the overtaking might be done under acceleration. It's so easy to get the tyres spinning here and you lose half a second down a straight away. So positioning and getting the run, getting the traction zone right will be the key for these guys, because I think diving under brakes is going to be a messy thing if it happens. But we'll see what these guys can do. We know we've got some really, really good quality top steerers in this field.
Yes, we do. Definitely do. Just trying to look at some things in the background that might be causing my computer to not have the best time right now.
So we've got a Hamish Gallagher currently at the top of the qualifying session with 36.0, followed by Ryan Jones with 36.2, Edward Foster 36.3, going back to Wayne Sheedy with the 36.6, and Tom Neal rounding out the current top five with a 37.2. So there's a lot of guys still to get a hot lap on the board here, but they've still got 5 minutes to do it. Have they got the laps in hand to do it though? This we'll find out.
Yeah, we do, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, Dyson hasn't even entered the qualifying server at the moment, so that is pretty much confirmed where he's going to be at the moment. He'll try and have fun fighting his way through the field as we're on board watching. Let me put up the driver in focus here. Just so you can see, Aiden Schultz doing a few laps here as he puts it straight into the wall.
Yeah, well, it's a tricky thing. When you're doing your qualifying lap, you've got to actually get on the brakes just before the checkered flag if you're going to continue on. However, if you want to eke that very last little bit out of your second lap in qualifying, you're going to be holding it pinned, which means you're not going to be making turn one.
Yeah, it is a problem as we're now watching Skurlock go through. This is the left that I mentioned before around the fountain. It's one of those things the car will continuously want to go that way, like he's just done. The tail's gone out. Um, the bumps are something that's going to unsettle these cars a lot, especially down this back straight here. You don't realize how bumpy it is. You can see there the car going very much going up and down and lifting there. If you're in the wrong spot trying to overtake, like this is a very much a it's a one way or one car wide section here, both right handers, and this is another key spot here. Just the kink for the final straight. You want to hit this almost full pelt to get as much out of it, and then you cross the start finish line. And like you said, you're pretty much trying to then muscle this car around a really fast right hander, then a left hander, which this left hander here has got some bumps that will really put you into the wall. Onto
It's
yet
walking
again.
on eggshells, yeah.
Yeah,
The whole lap round, really, you're managing the throttle. You're trying to do your best. You want to give it the throttle, and they'll drive straight even when they're wheel spinning. But you're losing time, and the next corner you're going to lose time, and so on, just because you've tortured those rear tires. And I think that's going to be the theme of the night, isn't it? That the rear tires are going to be the ones that go. So yeah, who can manage them? Who can get in the rhythm? Because the rhythm's really the key with these cars around here. Where you're comfortable, that's where you can extract the pace. Where you're keeping them in the traction zone, and yeah, like obviously going sideways is fun, but we know sideways isn't fast.
yeah, that is it. As I just removed the theme, the overlay, just slightly for a second, just rebooting a few things. See if that helps. So we will have this theme back up in just a moment, everyone. But yeah, there's the key for this track is keeping the car straight for the 28 laps. You're gonna have to keep this car going around for. There's not going to be much before these cars are taking too much damage and they won't be able to go in because once again you've got heating problems if you get some smashed up in the front and that kind of stuff. It's just going to be a problem. And then, like I said, overtaking. There's about 3 or 4 solid spots to overtake. If you don't get them right, you're going to get curled up in the field and you're going to start losing time as well. Pit entry is not too bad. Pit exit, however, you'll be coming straight down onto that line of the sweeping left-hander to come onto the straight. It's going to be interesting as I quickly bring up cameras, the drivers, and is anyone else still going around? No. So let's go to scenic mode. Um,
So we've got 18 drivers that have set a time, and times range from Hamish Gallagher with his 1:36.0 back to Raymond Jaeger with a 1:42.5. That's so it's quite a split there, and obviously some guys have got it right during qualifying, and some other guys, yeah, they've really tried and perhaps overstepped the mark. But it's just going to be more work for them to do during the race because there's some good names towards the back end of the field there. So I think we're going to have a bit of action, aren't we?
we definitely are, as I just haven't quite got these overlays ready yet. But just so you know, we're going to have a crash here at some stage tonight. Where's your prediction, Tim? Where's the first crash going to be?
Look, I think it's going to be in an acceleration zone rather than a braking zone because it's bound to happen because it's race time. You know, it's go time. Your foot's on the throttle, your mind's on the throttle, and I think that's where someone's going to come unstuck. Where it is, whether it's going to be turn two, you know, it could be turn two, it could be turn five, it could be anywhere really, couldn't it? Turn 10, 11, like we've just seen on the screen right now, basically. So yeah, look, it's up to these guys where they want to do the business. And yeah, we're perhaps not going to have a pace car tonight, but we might have a safety car. How's that going to come into play with tyres, with fuel, with strategy? Yeah, for some of the guys, perhaps like yeah, our Neil Pearson, Andrew Dyson, who have definitely got pace. That's going to really help them, I think, isn't it? Because where they might get a little bit held up in traffic, they're going to have some opportunities too.
That is it. There is so much to play out tonight. It will be another chaotic night as the pace car has them what looks like around on the back part of the track here at the moment.
So
So
they get a very short run up, basically between turn 11 and 12, and the pace car is going to pull into the pit lane pretty much straight away. So there's no tyre warm up. The guys are just going to be straight into it. So let's hope they're prepared.
yes, that is it as the final gridding happens. Now I know you're not a regular for the Thunder series. if we take Dyson out of the picture, what's your predictions? Have you had a little study of this field? Do you know what's going on? Who's going to go where?
Look, Gallagher's been solid throughout the entire practice session, hasn't he? Ryan Jones, we know he's a competent steerer. Edward Foster, any one of those top three. But likewise, if anyone makes a mistake, then all three of them are likely out of it in the first lap too. So let's just watch and see and let these boys entertain us.
Yeah, cool. I'm very interested to see the strategy behind tonight. We know how much of a different, how long a pit stop can be. So, but we know also the tire degradation is going to be interesting as well. Let's keep an eye on Riley Curtis tonight, as Abigail Foster is going for him, and Riley is back. We'll see how he goes. See if he causes the trouble that he suspects he will. But there's lots of things to play out tonight. 27 strong field, obviously. A few people skipping this round, using it as their spare one. But look at those boats in the background. They're ready to go. We are almost done gridding. In fact, it's just not Noddy Tompkins waiting to take the field as we get ready for the Belle Isle 60, brought to you by AJD Insurance Australia. And I will go through some of their stuff in a sec. What team do they sponsor, if any? Natari Autosports is the team at the that's the field sweep around at turn 12 and head down to turn 13. This is turn 13. We're going to get the final kink in a sec as they come up and they're ready to go. Racing. The pace car is away. So is Hamish Gallagher, and Ryan Jones is going to take to the outside, which is an interesting spot to be. He'll get right on his tail here. He'll come onto the main straight. Will he have enough speed to pull down the inside and dive it down before turn 3? We will wait and see, as there's a few Natari Autosports cars back there as well. Ryan Jones is all over the back of him, but he will not make the dive. There is a few dives coming from the background there as we turn. As we see, I pressed the wrong button. We didn't quite get to see it, but Hamish is still going around.
Still fairly clean throughout the field there, so the guys have done a really good job under cold tyres so far.
Here we go. This is the turn 5 as they all come in there. Dave Douglas getting a bit too wide there. There's a few, as I think that's Andrew Dyson coming through the field already, but they've done pretty well there. As we have a double move for the lead here. We turn away for 2 seconds, and Edward Foster has taken the lead with Wade Sheedy coming through to push Hamish Gallagher back to third.
He's almost 4 wide there, which is very adventurous for lap 1 on these sort of cars coming into that sort of turn. So the boys have got a lot of trust in each other. So let's hope they can maintain that trust and respect throughout the 26 laps.
Okay, so Abigail Foster is actually cheering on Edward Foster, unfortunately for some silly reason. There we go. We have a spin in the background.
One around. And he's going to have to wait for the whole field to go past.
Tom
Luckily,
Neal,
it looks like he hasn't got
unfortunately.
much damage.
Yes,
So he'll be able to spin it around and keep going.
Yes, he will. As we see. Oh!
Oh, no. Unfortunate.
That was very bad luck. The 62 there of Mirko Dorkanak. It's the shocker. Mirko, anyways, come around. He hasn't seen him and he's just going nose to nose. And unfortunately, that's the end. Let's go back to Edward Foster.
There's a bit of chatter and a bit of laughter over that one, so the boys aren't taking it too seriously there on that. They understand what's happened.
Yeah, so that will play a little bit with the heating of these cars because they're both front-on damage. It's not something you normally see on a track, but hey, it didn't bring out the caution flag. That's the main thing.
It's a good thing it was one of the slower corners, I guess.
Yes, it was. Interesting to see. Like, we've got Edward Foster's dropped back. Oh, sorry, Edward Foster. Hamish Gallagher's dropped back and Ryan Jones dropped back. Luke Trahair's right on the back of them and Riley Curtis coming up. But these two are starting to, Wade Sheedy and Edward Foster are just skipping away a little bit.
We've got another one round and Dave Douglas.
No, not
turn
Dave.
5.
There he is. Flick spins it and off he goes. Puts those tyres, the heat up in those tyres extremely quickly as we miss. Wade Sheedy was all over the back of Edward Foster there. He's dived down the inside and taken the lead as Hamish now gets on the back of Foster. We'll see. Yeah, it is always strange seeing Ed turn right. It's strange seeing all these boys turn right. It's really interesting. So it's obviously where they're having trouble.
And
But
I'm wondering whether it's a bit of time management going on, or whether it's just that simple fact you're a little bit too eager on the throttle, and like as I said before, it'll cost you half a second down the next straightaway. So, is it a little bit of that coming into play, or is it just the guys trying to play a little bit of a long game with their tyres because they know that once they start tearing them, they're going to be gone, they're going to be burnt
well,
up.
yeah. Look, time management's going to be a big key here. You don't want to have to stop much before. So I was saying before 28 laps, it's 26 laps. So fuel shouldn't be an issue. As we see in the background there, I reckon that's Luke Georgeson all
It
over the
is.
back
It is.
of Josh Micklemore, doing very good. I love how much these cars look like they're stepping sideways as he gets right on the
Oh, a
rear, but
little
he's not
dive.
going to make the dive as we go through turn 3 and turn 4. No one tripped up at turn 5. I'm really impressed with these guys. They've done a really good job, as you can see, nose to tail up in front of these front of the pack. But Luke's doing a very good job
Too
here.
wide coming onto the front straight for the onto the back straight for the leaders. So, geez, these boys they're having a red hot go though, aren't they?
Yeah, so I wonder too with oh, look at Ed in front there. He's all over the back of Wade, sorry. Really interesting. We're 3 laps in and they're both really using these tyres as hard as they can. I don't know whether Hamish is the one to keep an eye out for. He's got the pace. He got a great qualifying in. He's going backwards, but he's not fighting for these positions too much. If someone wants a
What it
position,
is
they're getting
doing,
it off him.
it's keeping this top pack nice and close. So you got the top 7 perhaps really in a pack. So I like it because I think anything can really happen, and the leaders toying with each other and costing time is bringing everyone back into the race. So good on them. Keep playing.
It is very much cleaner than we expected, Kobe. 100% cleaner than we thought it would be. These guys coming back onto this main straight. Let's keep an eye on. Let's have a look we're on Wade, so let's have a look from the roll bar here. Just see how close he can get to him through these couple turns. Hopefully nothing major happens in the background. You see there, that bump there, they hit the bump and it can unsettle the cars. See, most other cars, you're really riding these bumps to get the most out of the track.
You get a bit of a wallowing effect if you hit the curbs too hard. So it's a nice sort of balance where you just want to take a little bit of curb and utilise as much track as you can, but you don't want the car bouncing around too much because that really affects you in the traction zone. That's where you get that's where you're going to get exposed, I think. So just that little bit. And keep the flow, keep the momentum as much mid-corner speed as you can without damaging the rears. As we have a bit of a dive there, I believe. That might have been Gallagher, actually.
Gallagher. Hamish is sitting back there behind Luke Trahere. Riley Curtis behind him. Ryan Jones is all over the back of Edward Foster, which has helped Wade Sheedy get out a little bit. I just want to quickly jump back as we see someone in the background there. That's Adam Malone, I think. No, it's Noddy. Noddy's just had a spin there going at the end of the straight. He's got his car looking the right way now as Andrew Dyson makes the move on Aiden Schultz as he continues his drive through the field. It was Neil Pearson I was seeing before in number 9. Sorry, not the 41. As Andrew
looks like Michael Sherlock's just made up another place as well, heading up into P number 6 for the moment with a move on Riley Curtis.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. So he's actually up. He's only up 2 positions. I thought he was up more than that, but doing a great job. As you see behind there, the After Dark racing of Luke Georgeson is doing a really good job in 9th on the, not an oval track. He's doing a great job there. So getting around to the outside. But let's go back to the lead of the race. You can see Wade was stepping out a little bit from these guys. It's almost out to a full second now. But I thought you can see just there how much that tail the whole car just moves around so much on this track. It's really good to watch. It's Luke Trahere. Ryan Jones basically blocks down the inside there. I don't think he was going for a move, actually. He's almost... No,
I think he's just trying to
There's Luke giving him a nice little rub
I
from
wasn't
behind.
trying to dive his heads there on the comms, so I think he's just trying to hold his track position. Really, one
Yes.
thing that is quite interesting, just looking through the stats there at the moment, is not one driver in the field is where they started on the grid. So that shows you what's going on out there. Everyone's moving, so it's it's an interesting place to be, and these boys would be loving the challenge.
Yeah, as Andrew Dyson now is 8 seconds off the lead, up into the top 10 now, with Neil Pearson back a couple positions from him. Wade has clearly got out to a 1.8 second lead here at the moment, so 2 seconds has just pushed out to these guys fighting a little bit. Well, not so much. It's third and fourth that are fighting a little bit at the moment, but Wade's just getting some really good laps together at the moment. Whether that's going to cost him in about
Oh,
five
as
or
we've
six
got
laps.
Justin Witcher around on turn number 2, so coming onto the straight.
Oh, that's not a spot to be coming across the track there. Let's see if I can get a replay working without killing the system. Justin Which having a really good run in our other series that we broadcast, taking the championship lead of that one. Not having the best of run tonight though. With that result, you can just see.
Just a
Oh,
bit
he's
too
got a
eager on the
little bit of a
throttle.
hit there.
Yeah, for Aiden Schultz on the way through, so I don't think Aiden was involved in
No,
turning him around.
it was.
I think it was just under throttle, a bit too keen, trying to keep up the pace, which is hot. So he's trying his best.
Yep, now his tyres will be nice and warm, and he'll probably susceptible to doing the same thing again. But yeah, that was definitely foot down with the bumps as well. You lose you shift that weight around, so you lose the weight off the rear, and all of a sudden you're putting your foot down. All the power's there, and yeah, it does nothing but spin.
Because the boys are so lap 6, so they're basically a quarter way through the race. So really, at a minimum, they're really
Oof.
halfway through this tyre stint, aren't they? So
Yes.
if they're going to stop for tyres, that is. So there's still a long way to go on this set of tyres. So you've got to be looking after them because the drop off and what you can lose on the flip side, I think, is going to be a lot bigger than what you can gain by pushing too hard.
That's it. Welcome, Carl, to the chat. I hope you're feeling a lot better, mate, and we can't wait to have you back soon. As he said, we've done it. Tim, commentator curse. We did one on Luke there. We're talking about how good he was going, and then he spun out. But as you see there, Dyson making the move stick down to turn 3 as he pushes now his way past Micklemore. Interesting. He's 7 seconds off the lead still, so he's only pulled a 1 second differential on Wade, who we can see now is coming back to the field. It's about 1.5, 1.3 seconds there. So interesting. Let's have a look at the last lap times of these guys. You can see there's no traffic to play up or anything like that. You can see Sheedy is a good 7/10 off Edward Foster's last lap and Ryan Jones' last lap. So that's very interesting. You see that down there, Dyson the 1:37.7 as well. Not quite as fast as Foster and Jones on the last lap. But you see Gallagher and Sherlock there well out to the 138s, and even Riley Curtis is the 140s. Tyres have to be playing a part in that, or just little mistakes. You can see how much little mistakes are hurting
I think
drivers
you'll
there.
see that. Yeah, I think you'll see that lap time data ebb and flow, and I think that's going to happen the whole way through the race. You want to get on the throttle, you just crack it 10% too much. Oh, like we're just seeing there from Luke Gregson under brakes into it must be turn 11 there. Oh, and we've got Dyson collecting them.
No,
Sorry, not
that's
Dyson.
Schultz.
Sorry, that was Schultz. And yeah,
Matty Hunter as well sneaks past him as well.
it's just so easy that can happen, isn't it? So
Oh, we got pits happening. That could be damage, or that just could be
I,
tyres.
yeah, I think that was Schultz hitting in, wasn't it? So
Yes.
he's probably got damage from that. Unfortunately, just in the wrong spot at the wrong time there, really, wasn't he? So
Yes. That is
now he's just going to make his
Mirko.
tyres go a long way.
Mirko's in the pits as well, as Dave Douglas is disconnected from the race as well. But 2 down. Oh, he's missed his pit bay as well, unfortunately. Aiden Schultz there, and he's still going. Anyway, let's get back to the action as we look from pit lane to where the cars are. That's not a very good angle. That's a better angle. Just behind there, Gerlock's making... oh, sorry, it's not making a move. He's got Andrew Dyson now on his rear, which is interesting. Andrew Dyson's made about 2 seconds up that last lap.
Yeah, he's up 13 spots overall from a starting position and only 8 laps of 26. So, look, he's obviously got a target, and I think we know what that target is. And you'd say he's well on his way, isn't he?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a 136.3 compared to everyone else's last lap.
Yeah, as we see Sherlock there just making it easy for him. He knows what's happening, so no point losing themselves both times. So it's all about how fast you can get yourself to the finish line, isn't it? So
Yep.
sometimes you just got to yield and let nature take its course, and get yourself in the best position you can get yourself in.
That's it. So let's have a look back up front, which will be Dyson soon. Be interested to see what happens when he finally gets to the front. But you can see that this front pack has still sort of stayed together fairly well. You know, the few dropped off as we see Mickle more in the background there, using all the bit of road, including the wall, to stay straight on that straight. Um, don't be expect Wade to be taking them to school. Get some dogs, bro. That's from Kobe. So we'll see. Wade's doing a good job. I'm enjoying seeing him out front. Foster, though, he's got something to prove tonight. Well, I've commentated with him for the last 2 weeks, and he's talked about how unsuccessful his 2022 season has been. And I think that got
Oh,
sort
here
of
he goes, bit of a sniff.
fixed last
Got
week.
closer.
I think he had. Oh, there's Wade's
Oh,
gone wide.
another moment.
That's got
He's
him.
been torturing his tyres. Now, they can't go too wide through here, surely.
No, they tried to. And look at Ryan Jones. He's all over here. He can smell a 2-for-1 here. And Luke Verhaer can. Well, as he returns the favour, does Ryan Jones after being bump drafted behind by Luke Verhaer before. He's giving Wade a bit of a hurry up. Sheedy is skating around. I think those tyres have had better days. As we said, 9 laps in now. Almost half. He'll be desperate to get it to the halfway mark, but we're going into.
This is what makes me wonder: is Gallagher really? Has he dropped these places on pace? Has he dropped it on tyre management? And is it now starting to come back to him? Because he was really on pace throughout the practice and obviously the qualifying sessions. So, is there more to the story than what we're seeing on the screen right at the second? Is it a longer novel really?
Yeah, you would have to think he's got a little bit more tyre wear there than most of the others. He definitely is not. Oh, as Luke gives Ryan Jones another hurry along, which is going to give him the run into turn 4 here. You don't want to be both of them sideways, but Sheedy has no tyres left in that rear. You can see that.
Here we go.
He's lost all momentum here, which is what you're seeing. Oh, we've got. Is that Noddy?
It's the back marker,
It's
yeah.
Noddy around getting lapped. Ryan Jones has got a good run on him. Luke Trahair will get this as well. He'll be able to take him.
Contact on the straight.
What you're going to see here is will Sheedy be able to pull it up in time and not take these two out at this corner? He does a great job this time, but Ryan Jones takes the wall, marks the wall on his way past. It'll be interesting to see where Dyson picks to try and overtake these guys as he picks his way through. He's on the back of Gallagher now. He doesn't want to do any damage. He wants to get his car to the end. It may even be best, I'm not an expert at this, but maybe waiting, hopefully these guys pit and then just doing a few fast laps on the tyres he's got left, and overtaking them on the while they're in the pits is the other thing.
He'll be reading them, and meanwhile Skurlock's actually sitting on the back of Dyson quite comfortably, and that was probably 2 or 3 laps ago that Dyson went past Skurlock. So it goes to show that really, obviously, these guys scrapping in front is pulling everyone else in. Tyre game. Where's the overcut, the undercut? Is it going to be a bit like Monaco was almost on Sunday night or Monday morning? Probably similar grip conditions to the Formula One cars in the rain around a street circuit as well. So I don't know. If you snooze, you lose. Maybe in terms of do you jump in early, make it happen, get some clear track, because this battling, I don't know if it's going to make anyone faster, is it?
No, you can see there already Sheedy's losing ground on Trahair. He's still getting that rear out, stepping out on him on almost every corner, which is not helping because it's only putting more heat into those tyres and it's only burning them up quicker. So he really needs to just sort of either pit, get some fresh ones on, or try and get some straight driving and just have to give up some positions, which Hamish, you can't go too wide there yet again, and he's doing it, and Hamish pushes past. Will Dyson be able to
Yeah,
sneak through
he's
at the
got the
same
tyre.
time
He can
here?
get the traction zone, so it's done, isn't it? And I mean, obviously, as far as Sheedy goes, I mean, he's done a good job. He's sort of backed these guys up where he can, in a sense. So
Ooh, here we go.
he's slowing their race time down. Dyson, yeah, we know he's got the ability to stick it down there nicely and cleanly.
As
So
Sheedy goes into the
she
wall,
goes into the wall. That's what you can't afford to do, because
he's going to have to
there
pit
you
now,
go.
doesn't he?
It's a long way from first back down to ninth, isn't it? So.
He's going to go on. He's going another lap.
Well, there's not too much physical damage there, so
No,
whether
but
he's going to lose out in a straight line or what, you don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to lose out too much there, is he, with that damage? So,
no, but I think it's the fact that his last lap he did a 147. Now that was obviously into the wall just a little bit, but that's compared to he's just lost 8 seconds on the leaders in that one lap.
yeah.
It's not
And
going to get any
you're not
faster
going to
for
get
him.
that back, no. You're
As
not
we
going to see an
do
improvement there.
see a few cars have decided to take it. Tom Pritchard, Riley Curtis have both come into the pits this lap. Tristan Cock is down on time, but doesn't seem to be. I think he might have had a spin. That's why his lap is negative at the moment. Tom Neal heads into the pits, though, as we look at pit lane. That's Mirko, I think, with a very smoky car there, unfortunately, as we go back to the front.
We've got nice and close now with Foster and Jones. So last time they went over the line there was 0.276 of a second. So these guys are at it. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to have the best strategy call? Who's going to know until after it's all played out?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to look here. So we've got pit lane, full pit lane times about the 43-second mark at the moment. Keep that in the back of your mind, people. 14 to 18 seconds on pit lane for boxing. But that 41 to 43 mark is once these leaders start pitting, we will have a differential on the track and we'll have to keep an eye on those times. Dyson sitting 4 seconds off the lead is the other one to keep an eye out for as well, as my computer just does not want to play nice right now.
You think if these guys can do a 136 though versus a 139, that really an undercut would have to work, because it's just going to get you down the road further. It's going to, if you 3 laps of fresh tyres, you're going to be 9 seconds in advance. You look at someone like Sheedy, who had that bad lap where he lost 8 seconds. You stop that a little bit earlier, and you're making that back up on track. And once the tyres plateau off to this sort of current pace they're on now, then that's just what they're going to do all race long, I think, isn't it? So, if you can hold it and not get caught up too much in traffic, I guess at the same time, that's where the management comes into it, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. Just out of interest, Sheedy there did a 142 last lap. So even with that, he's still... he's come back to a 140 again. So he's actually managing those tyres just a little bit better now. But he's still, as we said, he is currently 13 seconds off the lead where he was leading the race. And I had a suspicion that was gonna happen with him out in front for so long, so quick, but it's 13 seconds. He's never going to get back down. Unfortunately, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, it was pushing that hard at the start. Obviously, he's taken the tyre life out, hasn't he? And looked good on the screen for a while there. But as the race plays out, you can't make that back without some drastic circumstances, which we haven't really seen too many drastic circumstances just yet. So. Does that mean that there's more of that to come in the last half of the race?
As we see Matty Raymond there pushing way too hard onto the turn 12 there and really stepping it out and hitting the wall hard, which is his car's not going to like. You can see down the left-hand side there, it's in a bit of trouble, but Adam Malone has just snuck it past him in that really cool paint job. As we see Michael Skurlock in the pits. No, he might have just vanished from the server. What's happened here? Just going back to find out. He's not in my server anymore. He's just pulled over.
No, his dinner's arrived by the looks of it, so he's had to jump out. So
That is very interesting.
DoorDash has arrived.
I would love to know what happened there. But anyway, let's go back to the battle
Let's
for the
go have a look
lead.
at
Ryan
lead.
Jones and Edward Foster battling it
So-
out. What a name. What a combo. These two love each other. This is going to be great. Is anyone going to blink here and pit? Lap 14 of 26. We're over halfway and they're still not pitting. Billy Hickey, though, is... I can't pick him up right... Oh, no, that's him right there. He's just having a slow lap as well. I thought I might have seen him pit, but no, there's just a few back markers that are just having a bit of a rough trot out there at the moment, I think. But let's have a look at these fronts. We've got Andrew Dyson. The gap is down to 2.8 off the lead as Edward Foster and Ryan Jones battle it out. They have to pit this lap. Is that your call?
Yeah, I think we've got Andrew within 1.3 seconds now of Ryan. So look, what do you do here? You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess, aren't you? So it's purely going to be circumstance and traffic, as we noticed the last couple of laps. There's been a little bit of traffic, and I think it's only going to multiply throughout the second half of the race here. So has Andrew Dyson used his tyres coming through the field? Obviously, he's been fairly consistent throughout most of the race, hasn't he? Where he hasn't really been, I don't think, overstepping the mark. Same thing with Ryan. So, obviously, it's shown so far that here we go, a little look.
That's not where you overtake Ryan, as he's lost the position because of that.
It might be how you get overtaken, though. So yeah, there you go. That bump on the inside. That's what it takes, particularly when your tyres are at this stage. But perhaps an inevitable situation there. But it's opened the boys up a little bit. But maybe give them a bit of a breather so
they
they
go on
can
another lap.
have a look.
All of the leaders are.
Yeah, if you're still on the lap time, though.
No, that's just Neil Pearson deciding to put a bit of heat into the rears because he thinks they're pretty cold. But Justin Witcher we just saw in the pit lane before, so that's one of the guys that has pitted. I wonder if any of these guys are having the thought of a zero stop race.
It's possible. You've got the fuel on it. Obviously, as you said there, you're 43, 44 second as your transit time. You got to really marry that off against your peak lap time. So we know you can drop 3 seconds a lap. How many laps can you do that for before you start hitting the 139s, 140s? Obviously, to get 44 seconds worth of that's quite a bit, isn't it? So, if you can manage it, I don't know if you can manage it while you're battling though, as these guys basically have been for the most part of the race. Although they're not overdoing it, they're still battling, which means you're going to make those little errors where you maybe a little pinch, lock up the brakes, pick up the throttle a little bit too hard, a little bit of wheel spin, and every time you do that, that's just 1% of your tyre gone. And obviously you can only take 1% of your tyres 99 times before you end up with 1%, which is 0. So obviously these guys know what they're doing up the front, but it's a bit of a risk. But if you don't take a risk, what's there to gain, is there? So
that's it. I honestly think Hamish is flying off a zero stop as we see them go past pit lane yet again. Ryan's rear is stepping out as much as Sheedy's was a couple laps ago, so he's at that point. Sheedy still has not stopped. He's going on. He's back up to 8th though, which is a pretty solid effort. Raymond Yeager's back here. I wanted to show it's very spread out here except for the front, so that's why we're particularly looking at the front. But this is back to Riley Curtis watch. Car does not look the newest it's ever been, but this is getting really hot at the front. Let's have a look because this is on these two. It's pretty Ryan Jones back into it, but Dyson is definitely trying to work out where to make the move at the moment. Where he's going to be quicker. Obviously, the back long straight is the best chance he's got, which is where we're on to right now. But he's a car length back or 2 at the moment, which is not the best position to be in. But you can see him catching up, but not enough unless he does a big dive down the inside. So the next real spot's out of into turn 3 from here, unless he wants to put something on.
Out of turn 2, I think, maybe more so to the point. But if you got obviously Ed's doing a great job there, keeping the traction in the zones where it's required. So I think Andrew would probably know that when it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. There's no point pushing it. There's no point trying to go for a late break. You're going to need to do the move on a traction zone that's been broken. Otherwise, I don't think you've really got a show, because you can't trail brake. You can't brake and turn. So you can't brake and downshift in these cars. It's braking and nothing else. So I think any attempt you make to overcomplicate that's just going to end in tears, or just lose your tyre life.
I just want to
lose your
quickly
pace.
point out one little thing at the moment. I've got the previous lap times up at the moment as we look at this mark. We keep an eye on this turn 3. Will he dive down? He's not going to. He's just going to hold on to it. These guys have to be doing a 0-lap race, stop race. If you look down the field there, 11th position, Riley Curtis, we were talking about before, 137. He's on fresh rubber versus the 139. Now, the problem you've got there, though, is he's 41 seconds off the lead. But pulling 2 seconds a lap, 8 laps, 16 seconds, could get him up as far as probably Matty Hunter. Could get him back in the top 10. He has done a one-stop strategy, but it really has been a net loss overall if these guys do stay out the whole way.
And a track where it's difficult to pass without tearing up your tyres, though. It's, as soon as you start trying to make those 3 or 4 overtakes, you're going to be put straight back in the zone that you were before as well. So, perhaps, obviously, well, and looking like it at the moment, these top 3 particularly, or even top 5, top 6 even, as we look back to Neil Pearson, who started in 21st position. Maybe these guys have really just made the smart call. I mean, you look at Neil Pearson, he's been just doing it quietly out the back there, hasn't he? You haven't really seen him, but he's in just as good a show and footing as anyone else in the top 5, and he's only 4.6 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking because Neil was coming through the field with Andrew. It's 5 seconds covers the field. At Belle Isle in Xfinity Thunder, that is a great effort for these top, 6 drivers. Just on 5 seconds gap between them all. You can see them all on screen at once. 19 laps into the race as my computer decides to go to a replay, but not a replay. Look, Foster Dyson is the battle that Trev was hoping to see. Kobe was hoping to see. Top 3 are going to get messy. Luke could be in good place. Yes, you do have Ryan Jones there, Andrew Dyson, Edward Foster. All will want to win with 7 laps to go. Luke is in the best position he could possibly be in right now.
They're all names that could win, aren't they? You know these names. You know their performances. They're solid drivers week in, week out, and this is obviously a different challenge. But the boys they're putting on a show, and they're doing a solid job, I think. So hats off to them, because I don't know if there's that many people that could get these cars around this track and stay off the walls, let alone look after their tyres. So.
Yeah, you could see going onto that back straight, or halfway through the back straight, Ed Foster clear. As you see Ryan Jones get very sideways out of that corner in the rear of that. But Ed would put his car on the right-hand side of that straight, knowing, see, still Ryan is still getting it sideways there. Drift Champion Award. But yeah, Edward went straight to the right-hand side. He's 100% going to make this car as wide as he possibly can for Dyson to try and get past on the track where you need to. You don't need to, because it's already so narrow as it is. Let's have a look here. Does Dyson have the run? Let's go from the chopper and see how close he can get into this turn 3. I don't think he's close enough still. I think he's just not there.
I think I don't know if impatience is the right word, but he's perhaps getting a little bit more excited as the laps count down. Obviously, he's got a number that he wants to get on the podium, and there's 6 laps to go. So, or 5.5 laps to 6.5 laps to go. So, he's going to be, like as we say, there's perhaps 3 opportunities a lap. So, really, those numbers are counting down, aren't they?
Yes, and he just doesn't seem to be quite close enough. I feel like the gap will close soon. It's just, we'll see how much life Edward still has in his tyres at the end when Dyson will put it on full attack mode. As Ryan Jones in the background hits the wall hard and takes Luke Trahere with him, unfortunately. We're going
Just
to
kept it
quickly,
going and let
and Neil Pearson
pass, huh?
goes into the box seat now. If these front, oh no, he puts himself onto a podium position. Let's have a quick look at that in replay. You can see him just, okay, this is on the back straight. He's going to come up. He needs to start braking. He gets a little bit all over the shop there as he does, and then hard into the brake, and the car just will not stop and goes wide into the tyre barrier. And Luke Trahair just had nowhere to go, unfortunately, there.
And he sort of helped him out a little bit
He did
in a
straighten him
sense
up.
there on the way through, but whether he's given him any steering damage as a consequence of that, and likewise himself. So a bit unlucky to stumble across the scene there, but that's what happens with these sort of cars on this sort of track, I think. So everyone's still going though.
Yes, and he really has opened these two up, though. 1 and 2 are now a full 6 seconds on the lead, and at that top 6 has moved out to 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds gap. Just on Riley Curtis' watch, his lap times are still in the 139s, but he's not quite getting, he's right behind Ruben Phelps now, but I just can't take my eyes off this lead pack at the moment. Neil Pearson has got himself onto the podium, which is a huge thing, as we have Billy Hickey's made a little incident, unfortunately. Same spot that Ryan Jones is. But look at here, is Dyson's going down. No, you can see Edwards right on that right-hand side. He's just not going to make it easy for him now. This is where Andrew's got to really stick with him through this section, so he can come onto the main straight. And as you say, get out of turn 2, he needs to be right on his rear.
Yeah, you're probably trying to force a mistake would be the best way. Pressure a wheel spin scenario, because I don't know how else he's going to do it. Because obviously Foster's been putting the car in the right spot, 21 laps. Obviously, so far 22 laps. He's put the car in all the right spots. So, and perhaps he's not going to be that intimidated by Dyson. But there's only one way that Dyson can change that, and that's by putting the pressure on. So. Perhaps he hasn't got a huge speed advantage at the moment.
See there.
They're very close.
That's the gap he needed to close at the right time. Foster's going to hold this right down the right-hand side. He's going to make Dyson go the long way, or try and crisscross him back into it. I don't think you can.
Think you can go the long way around here. I don't think it's going to work. It's only going to end in tears. You got to use your head, and obviously Andrew's smart enough to do that, isn't he? So they'll play on. They say, let's do this one more time.
Our commentator from the sideline has just called it Fernando Foster versus Lewis Dyson. Reference from the weekend, I believe. Edward's got the car. It's wide enough on this narrow track. He's got enough pace here. You can see Dyson's got the speed where he needs to have it, but Edward is just the master of putting his car in the right spot at the right time to make it impossible to overtake.
It's the positioning around here, isn't it? It's a traction zone to start off with, and then positioning. That's your 1 and 2. So you add that together. Your 1 and 1, you got 2, and hey, maybe 1 and 1 makes 1. So let's see. We've still got 5 laps to go. So a lot can change still in 5 laps.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Ryan Jones and Hamish Gallagher, and also dragging Luke Trahair into it is a great little battle for 4th, 5th and 6th right now as well, especially with the tyre situation that Ryan Jones is on as well. As Dyson here, once again, is going to really want to get alongside him. Let's have a look from his inside. Oh, that's the wrong one. I want to go back to Dyson. He's not got enough of an exit there, so Edward can clearly hang to the left here. You can see the different lines he's taking there, because he knows Dyson couldn't close that gap in time. He felt safe going into that, but you can just see how one-lined this track is for a car like this, especially through corners like this. You cannot step out. There is too much danger either side. This is the one where Dyson's really got to nail it. He's got to almost hit that wall, which I've hit many times accidentally. But he's still, it's a significant gap that Foster seems to be able to pull out of every corner with 4 laps to go. Very interesting. Very intriguing finish we're going to have here. The mistake is, if Foster can go with no mistake, he's got a really good chance here. It'll be whether he can do that for no with the tyres he's on, make no mistake, it'll be an amazing drive if he can pull that off. I just want to quickly, while these guys are in a position where they probably shouldn't overtake, let's go back and have a look at these guys back here. You can see Ryan Jones, their car down the left-hand side there's looked a lot better, but it is holding on. And Hamish doesn't have the tyres that we thought he would with the speed that he was showing before.
He's looking a little bit tidy. I've been watching him over the last couple of laps.
Ooh,
He's
he's
looking
right
a
on him
little
there.
bit tidier than Ryan. So his car's a little bit straighter. Perhaps his tyres are a little bit better as well. So yeah, likewise, I think it's a very, very similar situation as the 1 and 2 battle with 3 and 4. But Luke Trahier's sitting right there to capitalise if anything does go astray as well. So
you can see their beautiful positioning. What's Dyson got? He's gonna try and stay around the outside, which will give him turn 5 inside, but that's not going to help him going onto the back straight. No, he yields.
Has to yield.
He has to. There's not a
Track's
too wide
too
track at
narrow
all.
for these cars. These are big cars. They're big, heavy cars. You can't play that sort of game too often. You can maybe get away with it once or twice, but I don't think you can play that all the time.
So just back to what I was trying to show you before, Riley Curtis has got himself in the top 10 again with that fresh rubber. He's right on the back of Ruben Phelps. We'll make that move fairly soon. Hamish Gallagher's still just ever so close to Ryan Jones. I'm keeping an eye on that if that move happens. I think it's very close now. These guys down the straight, Ryan's going to do what Ed's doing so well. He's going to hug that side, although he leaves the door open right at the last minute. As he goes wide, no, I thought that car was going to sail a little bit wide there the way the rear was stepping out on him, but it's still holding on. Need to go back here because Edwards, there's too much going on, everyone. Too much going on. I love it.
And there's also battles further down the pack, though. So we've got Ruben Phelps, Riley Curtis, Matt Hunter, all within about 2.5 seconds of each other. So that's fighting out for 19th and 11th spot. So those boys are having a good battle as well.
He's right on his tail here. This is where the exit's going to come. Let's have a look from the chopper, see if he's close enough. You can see him just get on the accelerator just earlier than Foster. He's not going to have the speed to be able to go around the outside here.
It's the move that he keeps making every lap, but yeah.
Oh, he's got it right around, but is that a mistake for Dyson? Oh, he had nowhere to go. He's going to push this. Oh. Okay, so he needs to be that run coming out of this next turn coming here, but he's sacrificed so much by going too wide that it's now 2 car lengths. So now it's back to 1 car length. This is the run he needs as he comes back onto the back straight. What's Edward do? Edward still hangs to the right-hand side. Dyson's going to go down the inside, but as we're at the bridge already, it's still too late. There's a wall out there, and it gets very narrow very quickly.
I'll tell you what, Andrew's getting gamer though. Every time he pulls alongside, he's getting that extra,
He's just going
extra
that
foot
little
or
bit further,
so
isn't he?
further. Yeah. So how far does he go?
Let's have a look at these guys quickly while we've got a little bit of a reprieve from the guys up front battling, although they are getting into that little bit. Ruben Phelps trying to hold as he collects the wall there. Riley Curtis has no front end, and Ruben Phelps has no rear end, but he's holding off. They're doing well, doing a great job holding on to their positions. I think they've come together because Matty Hunter's jumped up ahead of both of those guys. They've had an issue there because Riley Curtis is now 11th. Matty Hunter has jumped up into the top 10. Interesting to see. Here we go. Does he have enough? Will he get around the outside? He's almost there, but he's still not enough. This is the final lap, everyone. This is when he has to make it stick.
He's got
the grip around the outside. He's made the move work. Andrew Dyson.
Final lap.
Second last real solid opportunity he had. He's made it stick now. Can he hold on? No mistakes from here as his car gets a little bit sideways, but he's known for drifting, especially when he's in front with a lap to go. So will he be celebrating early or will he just put this one to bed as we get to the final straight? This is Ed's last chance, really, unless there's a mistake from Dyson. No. Ed hits every bit of that ripple strip as he tries to make as much time up here. Let's get back. Let's actually watch from
Go
Dyson's
back to
perspective.
the battle for fourth. Let's follow this because
Hold
we've
on,
got
we're about.
still got action here.
Well, I've got to get the crossing the finish line. These guys are about to get there. Let's go as they come down the final corner, a final straight into corner 12. 13's coming up, and we will have the final kink as Dyson just lets that rear go full speed around the final corner with a little bit of drift, and Andrew Dyson takes away round 3 of the ANZCAR Thunder and then puts on a show as he goes across. Now we go back quickly. Ryan Jones will make this. We missed Neil Pearson coming across the line. Neil Pearson's the final podium getter, and Hamish just doesn't quite have enough to get ahead of Ryan Jones there. Luke Trahair, we've got a battle on here. Wade Sheedy has made a mistake and gone backwards in the pack. Matty Hunter, that promotes him up to 8th position. By the way, Josh Micklemore got across the line. No, he hasn't got across the line yet. He just steps out a little bit, but he's sitting in 7th. Matty Hunter with a long line of cars behind him. Riley Curtis is unfortunate with all that damage to his card. Still sitting in 11th, but Matty Hunter will take the final corner to finish a very well-deserved 8th here tonight. Ruben Phelps behind him in 9th. Wade Sheedy, after leading many laps of the race, is just going to get across the line in 10th as we see someone getting super wide behind there. It may have even been Riley Curtis to be finishing 11th as the last couple come across the line. This is a nice little battle here for 13th, 14th with Tom Pritchard and Matthew Raymond as they come around too wide, and Matty Raymond just holds on to that spot there ahead. We've only got Brad Fenley and Tristan to come across the finish line now, and that wraps out the fields. Let's go back. Look at the drift of Dyson, who's won it on the last lap. What a race. What do you reckon, Tim? Give us a wrap-up of what you thought of that race.
Well, the boys did an outstanding job, obviously. Geez, I don't know who I'd really say was the driver of the night. Obviously, Andrew Dyson coming through the field in the way he did, but I mean, geez, Edward Foster, from the get-go, he moved forward and just managed it. So, geez, there's a lot of good stories there. Hamish Gallagher solid the whole race through. Ryan Jones, obviously, he had some. I think probably wild moments in a sense, but kept it all together as well. You just Luke Trahair, same story. I mean, you could probably say the same thing about everyone throughout the field. I think these guys did an amazing job, and they can all be really proud of themselves because she's a combo between this track and this car. So, well done, boys. Good job.
Definitely a great job. Definitely Belle Isle, as we said in chat, has put on a show for us tonight. Not what we expected at all. The results could have been picked, but not the way it happened yet again. 27 cars out there. We have 15 of them on the lead lap. Very well done. And then still there's 19 of them. So another 4 cars, only 1 lap down. Very clean and well done job, everyone. Let's quickly run through the field before we get the people up to have a chat in the booth. So that's Andrew Dyson has taken the win on the final lap there with half a lap to go. Well done to him. Edward Foster just under a second behind. Neil Pearson in 3rd. Great drive from him. Ryan Jones with some very iffy tyres there, getting home in 4th. Well done. Good job to hold off Hamish Gallagher in 5th. Luke Trahair was right on those 2 tails all the way through. Just had that bit of a run in with Ryan when he had the crash in 6th. Josh Micklemore, a very unassuming 7th. Like, he just wasn't in the battles with everyone, but he's done a great job to finish 7th. It was a really good show from him. Matty Hunter, what a great run, getting all the way up to 8th position from 7 positions to finish 8th. Ruben Phelps in 9th, and Wade Sheedy, after leading for so long, ended up 10th. Riley Curtis 11th. Adam Malone 12th. Matty Raymond, as always, up a few spots. The 13th, Tom Pritchard 14th. Brad Fenley 15th, and the last car on the lead lap, Billy Hickey in 16th, Justin Witcher in 17th, Luke Georgeson in 18th, Tristan Cock in 19th, and Raymond Yeager 4 laps down in 20th. Tom Neal, Michael Skurlock, after his dinner, arrived early mid-race. Noddy Tompkins, Aiden Schultz a few laps down, Andy Barber, Dave Douglas, and Mirko. We saw have that incident as well. Whew, let's get into uh, some. Let's get some replays happening quickly, and let's get to Neil Pearson. As I quickly try and hide a few things. And we go to there. So let's grab Neil. And we have Neil Pearson in the commentary booth. How are you tonight? And congratulations on the podium, Neil.
I'm great, mate. And thank you very much.
It was a really good drive. Obviously, you and Dyson deciding to take the back of the field and work your way through. What was that like on a track like Belle?
It was scary a few times. There was a couple of like half spins and stuff I had to avoid. I wouldn't actually gotten third because I think Ryan Jones ended up just tapping the wall, and unfortunately Traher got included with that as well, and I managed to skip through. I think if that hadn't happened, my tires were a bit fried. I don't think I would have gotten past.
So was that always the strategy? 0 stops from the start? Is that what the preparation has shown?
Honestly, I just jumped in the server because Daiso said come race. So I was like, yeah, Belle was always good fun. I mean, it's a great little track. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, just to come have some fun and just see where it was going. The plan was just to see what everybody else did. If they pitted, then maybe pit as well. And then if they didn't, just stay out and just run it through. Because you had the fuel to get to the end.
Yep. So there's a few scrapes on the wall. How many times a lap did you actually graze the wall around Belle?
I think I had 2 big hits. One was when Skirley retired. He went straight, and I went, "Oh, I hope he's not going to like cut left like on the outside." So I cut the car to the left and then slid it. While I was trying to correct it, I put myself in the wall. But I think overall, probably about 4 or 5 times I hit, and the other ones were just minor scrapes.
Yeah, nice. Do you have any idea what happened to Skirley? I know you probably don't, but we assume his dinner arrived early. You just seemed to go straight, and that was the end of him.
Maybe it is dinner time over here in WA, so maybe yeah, it was just like that dinner time. See you later.
Look, mate, congratulations again. It was a really good drive, and yeah, you were lucky. Ryan Jones took a few people with him when he just made that mistake, but you earned it. You were there. You did everything right to be within the spot when it happened. Who do you want to thank, mate, and who do you want to shout out?
You guys at the broadcast. I'll go give that a look later on. That should be pretty fun to watch, I think. These
We'll
things
see.
around here. Simrigs.com. This is pretty good. Simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Benmax Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and Daiso and the boys. Yeah, Daiso just mainly for telling me to come race and have some fun.
Yeah, you got to like when someone tells you to come race and you just get a podium for your hard work. It's really good, really good effort tonight,
That's
mate.
it.
And I'm
That's
sure
it.
we'll
Thanks.
chat to you again soon, especially the next time we head to a road track.
Oh, hopefully.
Have a good one, mate. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
And that was Neil Pearson, but this man is the person who I was chatting to last week. The last 2 weeks, mate. Edward Foster, welcome to the podium position in second. How was tonight for you?
Yeah, it was heaps fun, man. It was heaps fun. Yeah, I don't even want to call it a battle with Daiso there at the end because it was a little bit like a lion playing with its food before he finally killed it. He was just obviously just giving himself something to do. But, he's sort of next level in these things, and we all know on the road courses, and we all know that. So I was kind of thinking we were going to see him come through, and I was just hoping to sort of, have a good run and get on the podium and, not make it too easy for him when he went to get runs and stuff like that. At least, not wave him through, just, make him work for it a little bit. But nah, he had the pace the whole time. But even the start of the race was pretty good fun. Like, she took off like madman, he's sliding all over the place and all the rest of it. And I'm sitting there kind of watching him going, oh, I don't reckon those tyres are going to last, eh? Like, and then, yeah, sure enough, he started to sort of slide around a little bit too much. I managed to get him, and then I had Ryan up behind and everything else, and yeah, that was all right. So yeah, man, enjoyed it. Like, I love street tracks anyway, so yeah, it was sick. Loved it.
Yeah, there was 26 laps of you being in the middle of something the whole way around. Two things I want to touch on. You had sort of the last 7 laps with Dyson on your tail, and we said if you didn't make a mistake, you could possibly hold him off with only the 2 real overtaking spots, and you seem to be able to manage them fairly well, except for obviously when he decided he wanted to go around you on the outside of turn 3. But I want to congratulate you first on those 7 laps under pressure. We just couldn't see a mistake from you. It was a really good effort. What was it like with him in your mirror like that and the pressure?
I don't know. I wasn't feeling a lot of pressure because I knew he wasn't. I knew he was just going to go by me whenever he felt like it anyway. And I was guessing after he sat there for a couple of laps, I was guessing he was going to do it for the last lap. Like, I mean, when those times we were braking next to each other, he's obviously got an H pattern shifter, and he's sort of shifted down from 4th to 2nd. I can hear him doing that, which is obviously a bit better for your braking distance. You can use slow it down with the gear a little bit more. I've got a sequential. So I was having to sort of, go through the gears as that. And I could hear him next to me, like, sort of doing that and kind of going to the limit of his braking and then, like, backing out of it. Like, he could have gone by me at any point. Like, he's just next level on the road courses. So, yeah, he was just sort of playing with me. We're having a good bit of fun. But as far as pressure, no, there was no pressure because I knew it was already over. So,
no, that's fair enough. The second part is, was it always a 0-stop strategy for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how was the tyres feeling towards the end there?
Absolutely fine. I was just having a bit of a ask of the guys down in the green room, like, what they had left on their tyres at the end, because I was wondering if perhaps I should have tried to take a little bit more out of it, because my tyres were in really, really good shape. And maybe I could have pushed a little bit harder and so on, but it's so hard to know, like, when you're in front and you've got nobody to sort of base that off and you're just kind of guessing, like, you don't know how much to take out of it. Like, you don't know. Yeah, there's no live tyre data, of course. So, we're just kind of driving along and just trying to guess. And the last thing I wanted my tyres to do was fall off a cliff and wind up falling back to 3rd, 4th, 5th or whatever. So I just kind of resigned myself to the fact that the battle with Daiso was over and just tried to save the rubber.
Yeah, look, it was an interesting thing. We saw a lot of guys struggling towards the end, and you guys seemed to be okay, which was interesting. Obviously, some people use their tyres more than others anyway. But
yeah, I was saving from lap 1.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was going to ask. Like, how much in the back of your mind was that the whole way through?
The whole way. Yeah, it's all I was thinking about is don't slide the car, don't lock a brake, don't steer too much, don't get on the throttle too early. I mean, there were some short straights on that track there. Like, after I got about, I reckon, 7 or 8 laps on the tyres, I wasn't even going to full throttle. I was getting up to 3rd gear and I wasn't going to full throttle at all. Even on the front stretch, I wasn't really getting up to full throttle there either. So it was just a case of, not wanting, because all it takes after you start to get the tyres a bit worn is you'll hit a bump or something like this and the back end of the car will jump. And if the wheels are spinning when you land, well, you're saying hello to the nearest wall, So they get pretty sketchy when you burn the tyres off. And so, yeah, I was just saving the whole way. Because normally in, like, slightly longer races, because it was just about a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing a bit of a longer race like we do in Carp or whatever, it's always a one-stopper. So I'm not really used to going this far on a set of tyres in one of these cars, like a full tank of fuel. So, it was just, I was just guessing, really. I was just guessing how much to push and everything. And apart from Daiso, I beat everyone. So, yeah, that's okay. I'll take that.
You will take that, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you very much for putting on an absolutely amazing show tonight. Who do you want to thank, though, and who do you want to shout out?
First of all, Daiso for, at least let me have my moment in the sun there for a while instead of just blasting right by me like I was standing still. I was actually thinking with about 5 laps to go, he must just be sitting there laughing, like this is his best effort. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, thanks to him for not running me over because he could have a number of times. Thanks to everybody. It was a pretty clean race. I definitely didn't have any touches with anyone and everything. And thanks to you guys for jumping in and doing the broadcast. And AJD and Fully Flawed, the team sponsors. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. We will talk to you again sometime soon. We'll probably even have you back in the commentary booth very soon as well. But thank you, number 2 commentator, and we'll
Second
talk.
choice voice, mate. It's
Second,
a lot more catchy. Second
that's
choice
okay.
voice. I've got to go with that.
I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning, let alone what you were calling yourself randomly last
what
week.
I was saying last week, yeah.
Thank you very much, mate. We will talk to you again soon either way.
All right, mate. No worries.
And that brings us to the winner of the race, Andrew Dyson. Congratulations, mate, on a well done win. Talk us through it.
Hey guys. Yeah, I just decided to start from the back tonight for a little bit of fun and a bit of public relations, pass some people and drive next to people without running into some folks, and got that done, so it was good.
So, quickly, 2 things. What was it like coming through Belle through the field from the back?
Awesome fun, man. That's the best way to put it.
So the other one is Edward was mentioning that you were probably laughing at him for the last 5 laps. Was that true at all? You thinking that this was the best he had when you were trying to pass him?
No, absolutely not. He was making all the apexes and breaking in the right spots, and when I kind of had like half a run at him every now and then, he'd do the right thing and put his car in the right spot, so it was good.
Now, you got the run around the outside of him on that last lap. Do you reckon you could have gotten it a couple laps earlier? Because I know how much the last lap means to you, but you got really long side of that turn 3 in particular a few times. Did you think about just getting it done then?
I did want to have the last lap to do a bit of a ski drop around the last corner sort of thing. But like I said, he was making it hard, so I didn't quite manage to get there. And yeah, those few laps where we kind of went side by side into 3, it's always pretty high risk to go around the outside of someone there, because you go in and if the guy on the inside just clips the ripple strip or the massive bloody mound on the inside there, it just pushes them wide into you, and then you end up having an accident. So I was probably erring on the side of caution, really, those first few times.
Yeah, I thought you were going to try and stick it there to turn 5 at one stage, but you just pulled out, I think, at turn 4. Tell me, how about those tyres? 0 stops, 26 laps. How were yours feeling at the end? Obviously okay going around the outside on turn 3.
Yeah, pretty good. I think they would have been pretty similar to everyone else, because everyone was saving their tyres at the front, particularly Ed. He did a better job than most other guys in saving their tyres. I don't know exactly what they were, because I did slide it around to be on the in lap, but yeah, I think they were all right. It was better than expected, that's for sure.
Did you have a plan going into the night for a 0 stop, or did you just see what everyone else was doing? I think that's what Neil was saying. It was just going to be what everyone else did.
Yeah, I thought if everyone else pits, I'll try and stay out. That's what I was thinking, and try and go the whole way. And Neil was saying it was something like 12 or 10 litres in the bank of fuel, so it was possible to go the whole way. And I thought, everyone's probably just going to do that, and that's what happened.
So where's Belle rate on the tracks that you like to drive at?
Oh, geez. Man, it's hard because you put these cars on any track and it's awesome. But yeah, this one's got to be up there for sure. All the street circuits are heaps of fun and really satisfying when you get a good lap, and when you see the really top guys running really fast laps around here, you learn something every time. So it's pretty awesome, these tracks.
Did you get many bumps on the walls going around? Because I know that you really need to hit the wall to go fast around this track.
Oh, not really. You don't really want to hit the wall. There's actually a couple of spots around here where if you drag the bum of the car on the fence on the exit, it'll it can pull the suspension out or just smash you up into the fence and do all sorts of weird stuff. So you've got to be really careful with it. It would be nice if you could get 0 X's in qualifying and stuff, and the lap would count. But most of the time, if you are grazing up against a fence, you're probably making a little error, so it's not really great.
No, and how did you find the bumpy nature of the track? Did any moments got a little bit scary for you? I know you obviously you like the car sideways anyway, but was there any interesting moments there with the bumps?
Probably the most interesting thing is down the backstretch, which isn't really a straight, and it's really, really bumpy. And if you weren't super careful on the throttle and you were just going 100%, it would crank out sideways if you weren't dead straight. So I picked that up pretty quick in the practice. Other than that, yeah, I mean, you got the little roller coaster before the end of the lap. That was pretty fun. You had to be a little bit careful coming out of that really slow one. Had to stay off all the curbs because they were pretty deadly. They just turn your car into a speedboat, nose up in the air sort of thing. Other than that, can't really think of anything too out of control.
No, that's good. You did a very good job tonight, mate. Congratulations on another road win with the ANZCAR Thunder Series. heading towards the Cup tomorrow night. I assume the Cup's on tomorrow night. I haven't been followed what's going on. Where's the Cup at tomorrow?
I can't remember the track, but I know that it's the hometown of Nelly. So I plan on tomorrow night jumping in the chat with the boys and pumping on some Nelly tunes
Oh, there you go.
before the race. St. Louis, that's the one. The track is in St. Louis, but I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, no problems at all. Well, good luck tomorrow night, and congratulations again on tonight. Who do you want to thank and who do you want to shout out?
Shout out to all the boys tonight. The guys that did make it easy and just ran their line. That was good fun. That's what we want to see. I'll just make a shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and shout out to all the folks in the chat, chatting away, getting the video out there, or the broadcast out there, and hopefully getting a few more people in to watch, because it's we have some pretty good races in here sometimes, so hopefully people enjoy it.
No, there definitely was some people cheering along. I think Abigail Foster needs a cup of tea, she said. She was out of a chair watching you two fight it out towards the end. But thank you very much for tonight, and well done, and we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
No worries, guys. Thanks for that. I'll catch you later.
Okay, Timmy Harris, you've been quiet for a little bit. What do you?
Yeah, just been listening to these guys and what they had to say, because obviously you got to take your hats off to them all. The top 3, the top 5, the top 10. You gotta give them props for what they just did. So thoughts. Geez, what a combo, and I'm sure these guys are going to be looking forward to next week, where there's probably a few less turns to digest and get back to a bit more of what they're used to. But boy, they did a great job. So yeah, that was cool. It was a good watch. It was really good to see.
Yeah, definitely was another great round of ANZCAR Thunder. I hope you all did enjoy it as much as I did bringing it to you. We'll be back next week. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it's going to be an exciting race either way. Definitely come and join us. As for the sponsor, like I said, AJD Insurance Australia, brought to you by, or they bring you Natari Esports. They just quickly, they business marketing, psychology, and disability consultancy service. They are located in South Australia, Adelaide, South Australia. Get in touch with them at www.ajda.com.au. Go check them out if you can. Thank you for them for bringing tonight's race to you. Thank you, Timmy Harris, for joining me tonight. Go check out all the content. Locked On Lads on Facebook is where you can find all that stuff. Currently, Locked On iRacing podcast is on hiatus, unfortunately. But we will be bringing you the Paddock podcast, which is on the Logitech G Supercar Pro Invitational series, which is running right now and is probably got a spectacular thing going on with it right now. And also then, we've got some other broadcasts Sunday night, or the next time you see us on all the things. Thank you to everyone who's been following us and subscribing to us and watching us and commenting. The numbers have been really great of late, so thank you very much for that. But we will be back next week for another ANZCAR Thunder series. I don't know who will be commentating with me, but someone will be.
Nashville
Thank you.
150.
What's that?
So a Nashville 150, 112 laps.
There we go.
Ooh, exciting.
Very exciting. So join us for that one. I may have Timmy Harris. I may not have Timmy Harris. But thank you, Timmy Harris, for joining me tonight, getting me out of a bind. You're a legend. And we will talk to you next week. Have a good week all. Bye.